I don't know, maybe because of your color, maybe because of your religion, maybe because you're a stranger, they don't know you, and so forth. Then later we came to know the issue of Northern Ireland, but orange and green, nationalism, loyalism. They want to know, are you with us or against us? When I tell them I'm Muslim, they say, are you Catholic Muslim or Protestant Muslim, something like that.
I think it was in 2016, 2017, we saw the incidents of hate crimes and hate incidents motivated by racism that get reported to the police actually surpassing for the very first time those motivated by sectarianism.
So all of a sudden it was like, oh, security man, look here. So as I turned to look, I just felt a big bang blow, my left jaw.
But this is the question we try to answer ourselves. Why? I mean, I'm not harming anyone. I'm not against anyone for anything. So why they're attacking us? I didn't do anything.
Northern Ireland once wove a narrative defined by sectarian shadows, one that lives in the hearts and minds of its people. However, as the chapters of history turn, the reports of abuse and targeted attacks on ethnic minorities seems to be rising, and a new battle is beginning. A battle that seems to be unnoticed, the battle against racism. Patrick Corrigan from Amnesty International is among those who have expressed concern regarding this grave matter.
If anybody in the world knows anything about Northern Ireland, it's that we have had historically a significant problem with sectarianism and intercommunal conflict, and that continues to be a problem here. But I think it was in 2016, 2017, we saw the incidents of hate crimes and hate incidents motivated by racism that get reported to the police actually surpassing for the very first time those motivated by sectarianism.
This is Amir Ibrahim. Born to a Sudanese father and a Northern Irish mother, Amir Ibrahim is a man whose journey in Northern Ireland began almost 35 years ago. Even though his life is a unique blend of cultures and identities, Amir's quest for a true sense of belonging continues.
When I was studying in Algeria, there was the World Cup in 1986, and Algeria was playing Northern Ireland, and I was in Algeria, but I felt I support Northern Ireland because my mother from here, so this is my mother country, so I was supporting Northern Ireland. So I get that feeling, this is still my mother country, my aunts, my uncle, so still I have roots on it, because even when I was in Sudan, I was in a private school, and I can feel sometimes where I am. I'm not Sudanese. So when I say I'm not Sudanese, this you say you are not here. So where I'm belonging, you feel sometimes like you're lost.
As Amir continues to build a life in Northern Ireland, he has witnessed how racism has created another obstacle, making it even harder for him to fit in.
We start to face some of the reality that wasn't pleasant, that people don't know us, maybe didn't accept us, so we got a lot of harassment, racial abuse, like our house where windows were scattered and written graphic on the wall, blacks out and all this.
According to the latest report from the Police Service Northern Ireland, over 1,000 racist incidents and more than 800 racist crimes were documented by the police in 2023. These figures raise significant concerns to those who uphold law and order in the community, including neighbourhood police officers like Royce Brown at the Woodburn station.
So I certainly see sporadic issues around hate crime. I'm actually the hate crime lead for West Belfast. Even this morning on the sheets we had one where a refugee had sort of rubbish thrown into her garden and perceives that to be because she's from a background that's not the same as here. I have had multiple incidents reported to me where I've either had to investigate or signpost individuals to support organisations, and we know that their house has been attacked or they have been assaulted due to the colour of their skin or the language that they speak, and that happens fairly regularly. I would say probably in West Belfast at least once or twice a week we get a report.
This was the experience of Farhana Razif during her initial days in Northern Ireland, after moving here from her home country, Singapore. While she struggled with adapting to the new cultural environment, the new country and its people were also facing challenges in fully embracing her as a part of their community.
People are quite like, who are they? You know, when we move to a new place, our neighbor, like, who are they? You know, they feel curious, and after a while, I take around 2 years to get to know my neighbor.
However, the process of adapting to the new environment is far from easy. As the process of adaptation continues, instances of harassment and racially motivated attacks persists.
Yeah, we did had the attack, which is during the pandemic, because it was locked down, and the kids, they are like, maybe they're bored or what, they just knock the door and, you know.
But this is the question we try to answer ourselves. Why? I mean, I'm not harming anyone. I'm not against anyone for anything. So why they're attacking us? I didn't do anything. That's why I was surprised.
This kind of question might have more than one answer. Although, Paul Oakes from Equality Commission suggests that lack of knowledge might be one of the key reasons.
Some people are ignorant, in the sense that there's this view, this stereotype that people from black and minority ethnic communities are coming here, they're taking our jobs, they live on benefits. Now that we know is nonsense. In fact, there's research been done by the Public Policy Committee to show that minority ethnic people actually contribute more to the economy than Indigenous white people and take fewer benefits than Indigenous white people.
The recent findings by the Equality Commission have exposed that racism was a normal part of their daily life for ethnic minorities and migrant groups, and according to Patrick Corrigan, there have been incidents of masked gangs breaking into houses with cudgels and bats and beating people up.
1, 2, 3.
This violent aspect of racism is far from normal and often leaves people feeling unsafe in their own homes.
I mean, my own brother in Ballymena, his house was bomb-fired. They thrown that multi-fire on it. So the window, luckily he's alive, and him and his son start putting out the fire. They just got some injuries because of the scattered glass and window. So that's the dangerous one.
I think we had a culture where sectarianism was normal. It was normal, and in fact for many people sectarianism was a way of defending themselves against the other side. So some people would justify sectarianism in the sense that it was a method of protecting their community. So it was normalised, and the behaviour of discriminating against someone, harassing someone who was different, to some extent was normalised.
In January 2021, the Belfast Multicultural Association, serving the communities and asylum seekers of Belfast, was set to fire by arsonists. And just hours after it was being rebuilt from the first attack, a second arson attack took place in April 2022.
But unfortunately, everything will have to stop.
To date, no convictions have been made in connection with this terrifying incident, and it stands as a testimony to the city's potential for extreme violence against its minorities.
I was there that night when it was attacked because I prayed and I left. Also used as charity work for food banking and clothing and all these things. And we go there and help, and because it's a big place, we pray on it as well, and we go. So we prayed after we left, we heard it was burned. So it really saddens the community that things happen.
I think that should have been a watershed moment, I think, for Northern Ireland in recognising not just racism in our midst, the scale of the problem, but also the fact that organised criminals, paramilitaries and balaclavas have a very active part in the most extreme violent aspects of those crimes. I was up at the Ulster Museum recently, and they now have on exhibition a charred timber from the roof of the Belfast Multicultural Association. So that now is part of the recorded public history of this city.
Unfortunately, not all institutions respond adequately to these crimes and fails to address racist-based hate crimes with the seriousness they require.
So we are seeing a significant and growing problem, but we are not seeing a growth really in the rate of convictions. I fear that part of it is an insufficient prioritisation by the police.
So I'll deal with sort of an overarching issue within Northern Ireland is that we don't have relevant hate legislation. In Northern Ireland, we don't have a devolved administration at the moment. As per every few years our government collapses and we kind of fumble along without any kind of political leadership. And that means that we can't pass laws that are relevant to this area or this place.
The Great Britain, they now have what is called a Single Equality Act, basically where they've taken all of their equality legislation and put it into one act. We don't have that in Northern Ireland. We have separate bits of legislation.
There's talk about introducing new hate crime legislation in Northern Ireland. I think that might well be needed and will be welcome. But people can already be held to account under the law, under the existing legislation, whether it's because of through physical attacks or criminal damage. Those are already crimes. The fact that it's a racial motivation and that is not sufficiently protected in law, that should not stop the police in holding the culprits to account.
While the battle against racism in Northern Ireland continues, new hopes arise from the story of those victims who are able to transform their personal tragedies into motivations, not only to heal, but also stepping up to assist the community in their struggle.
Don't be like Ronaldo.
Here is the story of Jahswill Emmanuel, who came from Nigeria to Northern Ireland in 2004.
Then there wasn't much colored people around, and then it was very difficult to find our food, what we eat back from home, obviously. So we normally go to the Chinese restaurant and Chinese shop to get bits and pieces of vegetable, and we just make it partially, something that will look like what we normally eat.
In 2012, Jahswill Emmanuel's life took an unexpected turn. While working as a security officer in Belfast, he became the victim of a shocking racist attack. The McDonald's, where Jahswill worked as a security officer, was booked for a private party when no one else was allowed to enter. Despite this, a local man attempted to enter, and Jahswill, explaining that it was a private event, tried to stop him. Jahswill, who was just trying to do his duty, was met with a violent reaction from the man.
So all of a sudden it was like, oh, security man, look here. So as I turned to look, I just felt a big bang blow, my left jaw. So I started feeling, it ran away, started feeling dizzy, called the ambulance came. My jaw was wired for 6 months. I couldn't eat, I was living on liquid, and then went into depression, went for counseling, and found it difficult to come back. It was very, very difficult because I was like, I've been here for a while, and why would such a thing happen to me?
The attack could have completely destroyed Jahswill, both physically and mentally. Although he endured significant hardship due to the assault, he refused to let it destroy him.
Okay, fine. This is just a medium. I won't let this defeat me. I won't let this weigh me down. So what can I do to assist this community? This is a community that just recovering from war, from troubles. They probably need a helping hand to see what can we bring into the society.
Jahswill began by introducing glimpses of cultures beyond the local community by organizing many events. He invited musicians from diverse cultural backgrounds to participate in these gatherings, encouraging greater integration between the communities.
Then in 2015, when everybody started coming together, and they were like, okay, Jahswill, I think we can do something into this. And you know, there's this rivalry between Nigeria and Ghana. So we like, okay, let's play a football match between Nigeria and Ghana.
That's the can remember now that time. I said we should start a competition. I said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And that time I think we managed to get like 8 teams, and that's when we started the competition.
You know, it was an event that now brought everything to life. So that means if you had 1 + 2 together, the culture part of it and the sport part of it is working. Actually works in bringing people together. So that is how we became multi-ethnic sport and culture.
So I think MSNI did a very good job whereby they welcome everyone, no matter what religious, race and color of you. We get to join, I mean our kids get the chance to join the football, the sports that Jahswill organize.
So we partner up with the IFA and McDonald's from football sections, because McDonald's they assist us in getting pitches, and also train some of the people from the ethnic minority to deliver the section, give them coaching badges.
All these efforts of Jahswill didn't go unnoticed. More recently, he was named in King Charles' New Year's Honours List, receiving the British Empire Medal. For this, Jahswill and his works at the MSCNI were assessed by the professors of Queen's University Belfast, including the Vice-Chancellor, Ian Greer.
I was like, assessed? Assessed for what? What we did assessment for? And you know, all of a sudden, Professor Ian, at the last point, just asked me, what do you feel? Have you encountered any difficulties around this? Because this is a very big job you've been doing for a while. I started crying. I started crying because I've experienced so many things, even apart from the assault. I've experienced intimidation, I've experienced bullying, you know, while doing a voluntary work, which pains me. One thing I could recollect, he was saying thank you. He was saying thank you. He said thank you more than 20 times before he left.
To address racism, it is crucial to provide equal opportunities for everyone in every aspect of life, including the workplace, irrespective of their race or color or religion. Also, tougher laws are essential for true justice and to secure adequate convictions for hate crimes.
It involves promoting diversity at workplace in all levels of the organization. This can include using blind recruitment techniques, actively seeking candidates from diverse backgrounds.
In terms of representation, I think different minority groups bring something different to the service, to the job that it is. Policing is, if everybody doing it is a white middle class middle-aged man, you're only going to get one kind of, you know, general response to things. The more sort of diverse mindsets even that you have based on gender or your experiences as a migrant or as a minority of some sort, the better our service becomes.
Throughout Northern Ireland, crimes against ethnic minorities and migrants have been on the rise, even though the public and authorities hardly seem to notice it. However, today, their voices are growing stronger and more resounding. The story of Jahswill Emmanuel is an inspiration, encouraging unity and paving the way for a peaceful Northern Ireland where everyone feels safe in their own homes.
Do you guys want to play here again? Come here again?
Yeah.
With these friends again? Yeah?
Yeah.
I've been here most my life, was in Northern Ireland. If it's bad, I wouldn't be here.